Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's your man Cowboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly, where in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Brewers, of course. Cactus League officially kicks off tomorrow, and obviously there are a lot of things that I am excited for this season because I think that the Brewers are probably the most underlooked team in the league this year. I think no one's giving them any credit, and I think that people need to watch out for us. I think you know, it's tough as it is. I mean, the Dodgers are good, the Padres are good, the Braves are good, the Mets are good, the Cardinals are good, of course the Phillies. Now they have Trey Turner too. I mean, the Brewers are probably the most underlooked team in the league, and there are a lot of reasons why. And of course I'm going to make a video on my thoughts on going into the season right before probably the season starts, because I'm assuming people are going to get cut, put down on the minors, you know what. But today's video, I'm going to basically be giving 20 predictions on what I think will happen in this entire season. So, I'm excited. Cactus League officially starts tomorrow. Lots to look forward to. Absolutely. And I can't wait because 1 month later, baseball starts. So, football ends, baseball starts. Just how it is. But anyways, if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and let's get down to business. Here are my 20 predictions that will happen, that I think will happen this season. Alright, first off, I don't believe anyone is going to hit over 250, or try to at least stay consistent about 250. I just think that the hitting coaches aren't going to really show the Brewers that they can maintain that 250 average. I think some people are going to hit maybe just under 250, but at the end of the season, I just don't believe a single Brewer will be above 250. Personally, I think their best hitter will be Willy Adames. I think he will have the most hits on the team. He'll average about 240. I think he'll have a much improved season offensively. And honestly, I hope that this isn't true, but my heart just tells me that it unfortunately is. Next up, Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burnes, and Freddy Peralta, I think, will all throw 200 strikeouts on the season. I think, once again, all three will be able to hit that stand mark as they did 2 years ago. If they're all healthy and good, that for sure will be happening. I believe one of those guys might have a career year. Not sure who it is yet, but I'm excited for what's to come on that. Next up, I think that Aaron Ashby, despite being, he's had his up and down. He's had his ups and downs, but what I think is actually going to happen is when he comes off of his injury in the middle of May, I don't think he'll be starting. I don't think he'll be starting the starting rotation. Our starting rotation is so deep right now that I don't think there's room for him. And when he gets thrown back into the mix, he's going to be playing he's going to be a bullpen pitcher, and I think that's his role. I think he's going to be our setup guy. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I think he's going to be our setup man to Devon Williams. Alright, of course, going into number 4, why don't I just talk about Devon Williams right now? Same thing as he always does. Starts terrible, and then ends up being really good. I think he's going to have a great season. I think he's going to end with more saves than Josh Hader did last season. I think he'll get about 30 saves, a 2.5 ERA or something like that. I think he's going to do pretty decent. I'm excited to see how Devon Williams does. Someone from the Brewers will sign a big extension this year. One of our big name players. If I had to pick, I believe it will be Willy Adames. Okay, this one's a little bit of a shocker. I think Luke Voit is actually going to be the starting first baseman for the season for the Brewers. I think Rowdy will start at opening day, but I think Rowdy's actually going to not have as good of a season as he did last year, and Voit is actually going to take over Rowdy at the start of the season. I think both guys are going to hit about maybe 15 home runs each, but I just don't see Rowdy having the season that he did last year. I think Voit will actually take over. Alright, our new acquisition, William Contreras, I think will be having a career year. I think he'll hit about 30 home runs. Alright, due to our depth, I don't think that we're going to see Jackson Chorro this year. He was this guy that we're hearing all about in our farm system that's going to turn, I think he's going to be a top prospect. Dude is going to be a fantastic player. I can't wait to see how he does for the Brewers when he calls up. But because of our depth at our team right now in the outfield, especially two prospects that are likely to be called up eventually in the outfield, I just don't think we're going to see Chorro until next year. I think he'll end with AAA. He'll end the season being on the Nashville Sounds or something like that. Alright, my buddy Christian Yelich over here. I think he's going to have a much improved season. Of course, the last two seasons have been a very disappointing year for Christian. Well, last three seasons have been a disappointing year for Christian Yelich. But I think that we're going to actually see his power again. Council moving him to the leadoff spot was like the best thing that possibly ever happened. And I think that he's actually going to lead baseball in stolen bases because of his speed. Uses it. I think he'll average around 240 once again. And I think he's going to hit about 20 home runs. I said this last year, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I think he's going to get his power back, and I can't wait to see how he does against other teams this year. And hopefully he gets another cycle. That'd be great. Alright, between Owen Miller, Abraham Toro, and Mike Brosseau, and Keston Hiura will receive the most time at infield, however, on a different team. Yeah, I know, that sucks, but that's how I see it. Next up, I think Bryce Turing, our rookie. He's going to be a second baseman. He's going to be or shortstop or something. He's going to be one of our infield guys, our rookies. I'm excited to see how he does. I think he's going to be a great player, and I think he's going to be our most explosive rookie this season because I'm assuming he's going to be called up. So that's something I really want to see. It's very important. Alright, this one might be a little bit of a shocker. Peter Strzelecki. He was one of our bullpen pitchers that got some limited time last year, but he had some potential. He actually had a decent ERA, and he actually seemed like he was throwing some good stuff. And you want to know this? I think he's going to actually have one of the best seasons of his career and really be a key member of this bullpen. I think he's going to be really good. I'm excited to see what he shows. Alright, this one, I think, the Colton Wong Jesse Winker trade, I think, is going to really turn out well for the Brewers. Even though probably he will only play one season with the franchise, I think Jesse Winker is going to lead the team in home runs and make the All-Star team. I think he's going to have a heck of a bounce-back season, and he's gonna really show up this season for the Brewers. Alright, I think someone from the pitching staff, I don't know who it is, but one of our starting pitchers this season will have a no-hitter. I don't know who it is, but if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's Freddy Peralta. I'm just throwing the name out. We'll see what happens. I know Freddy can have an unbelievable game every once in a while, but we'll see what happens. I think he might have a no-hitter. And if I had to pick the team, I'll say it's against the Rockies. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm saying this, but weirdly enough, that's how I feel. Alright, I think Luis Urias is going to be the most improved player this season. Last year, he had a really disappointing season. He had a good up and down year in 2021, but last year was just a big disappointment. I want to see more from Urias. I really always liked him, and I think, you know, he has so much potential to be a great player. I think this is the year where he really steps it up. Maybe hits about 20-25 home runs and actually has a good batting average. Hopefully improves on defense. I think they're going to start him at second base more than third base, but, you know, he'll split time with Brian Anderson, but we'll see what happens. But I think Urias is going to have the most improved year out of everyone. Alright, this is a big one that really sets up for the future. I think Garrett Mitchell is going to actually be considered for a Gold Glove in the future. Maybe he's going to have a really good defensive year this year, and I think he's going to be the permanent starting center fielder for the Brewers. He'll always bat cleanup at the ninth. Pretty much, I think he's going to... I don't know if he'll improve offensively, but dude is going to turn into a defensive stud. For the other guys in the outfield, Tyrone Taylor, I think, will be traded at some point this season, and Sal Frelick is going to take his spot. I really like Sal Frelick. I met the guy, really nice guy. And, you know, I can't wait to see really what happens for the future of this outfield, because I really like Frelick and Mitchell to really take over and be some huge defensive guys in the future. Okay, I think this one might not come as a shocker, but I think David Stearns will be a starting general manager for another organization. Of course, him and the owner, our idiot owner, are probably falling out, and I'm assuming, you know, Matt Arnold is going to do as good of a job as a GM as he can. He's made some good decisions. He's really been part of it, but I think Stearns will be starting somewhere else. I don't think it's going to be the Mets or the Astros, because I think they got their guy, but I think he'll be a starting GM for some, or a GM for another organization in Major League Baseball. So yeah, I mean, I'll miss you, Stearns, for sure. Alright, Brian Anderson, the guy that we signed, I think it was like a 1 or 2 year deal. He'll be permanently our third baseman. He's had some good years, but the last couple have been plagued by injuries, and I don't think that's going to change. I think, you know, he'll do some things for us, but I think injuries are going to pretty much cost him for most of the season, and I think it's going to be kind of a waste of a signing. No offense to you, buddy, but hopefully Brian Anderson calls a Brian Anderson home run. That's all I want to see. Alright, Wade Miley. I was always a fan of Wade Miley. I wanted the Brewers to re-sign Wade Miley back in 2018, but we didn't, and I'm so glad that he's back on our team. Yes, he is very old now and not the same pitcher, but I think he's going to do well enough to be in the starting rotation. He's going to boot out either Adrian Hauser or Eric Lauer, and of course take one of their spots. I think that's what will happen. I really like them signing him, and I think Miley's going to do a good job. And finally, I think the Brewers will win the division and they will make the postseason. I think they will make the playoffs. I don't know how they'll do in the playoffs, depending on how the trade deadline and the season goes, but I think that they are the most underrated team, and I think that they will win the division. Not on a bias. I think that they will win the division and they will advance to the playoffs. I'm excited for this team, and hopefully you should be too. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and we will see you with more updates. Of course, I am going to be watching a lot of Brewers games to see how they do in this Cactus League, and obviously, hopefully, we have a great season, and if all these predictions come true, then I must have went into the future or something, so who knows. But anyways, we'll see you next time. That's my crew.